Hi folks, I just wanted to give everybody a quick update on what's been going on with the New Jersey lawsuit regarding what I like to call New Jersey's anti-carry law that was signed by Governor Murphy back in December of 2022. Since the Bruen decision of June of 2022, there have been many lawsuits throughout the country regarding the government creating these laws that are sensitive areas, which they call them, which we all know they're government mandated gun-free zones. And in New Jersey and New York, I know they basically made the entire state's sensitive areas, what they classify as a sensitive area, meaning you can't carry your gun. Now in New Jersey, just a quick recap, back in May, I believe, after issuing a couple of emergency TROs, temporary restraining orders, Federal District Court Judge Renee Bum issued a preliminary injunction on New Jersey's anti-carry law. She put an injunction on parts that the state cannot enforce pending the appeal, of course. There's an appeal. She also denied parts of the request. It was a win, in my opinion, for the Second Amendment folks who want to exercise their Second Amendment right to keep and bear arms in public, protect themselves and their families. It was a win because she basically, one of the biggest parts was the private property part of the provision of the new law, which said you can't go on any private property open to the public without the owner's permission. So as a quick example, we all know that when you're talking about like a gas station, the owners probably never show up at all the gas stations or maybe any of them, but they're definitely not going to be there in the middle of the night when you show up to gas up your car. So there's no way you can even ask the owner, hey, is it okay if I come onto your property with my gun that I'm legally allowed to carry? So she shot that down, said it was unconstitutional, as she should have, which was a huge win for New Jersey citizens, I believe, lawful and responsible gun owners. New Jersey, of course, appealed. There were oral arguments back a couple of months back. Everyone's still waiting for the panel to come up with their final decision. In the meantime, New Jersey Attorney General Platkin has filed several letters to the court about other cases going on in the country, basically to tell the court, hey, by the way, look at these cases. And I'm going to reference the cases in the description. I'm going to put links to these. I'm going to put links to the letters filed by Attorney General Platkin. I'm also going to put links to the letters filed by the attorneys representing the plaintiffs in these cases, Koons and Siegel mainly. There are multiple plaintiffs that are associated with these cases, but the two cases, Koons and Siegel, were consolidated into one for New Jersey. So I'm going to put links to these. You can read the letters. The letters are very short, but basically the Attorney General from New Jersey is saying to the court, hey, by the way, look at these cases. The one case, Antonyuk versus Chiumento, that New York case, U.S. Court of Appeals for the Second Circuit, where they, according to Mark Smith, and if you watch Mark Smith, he's a constitutional attorney. The Four Boxes Diner is his channel, his YouTube channel. And if you haven't seen it, I highly recommend that you check it out. He does an incredible job of detailing these cases and what he thinks are, you know, his opinion based on, are they going to fly? Are they not going to fly? Is the Supreme Court going to shut this down? So he goes into great detail and basically says the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Second Circuit made this decision based off of a case or a law that never actually existed. And even if it did exist, it was from the 1300s. It's already been repudiated in Bruen and also by an historian. He's saying it's a bad decision. Part of their decision was good for the Second Amendment folks. They did shoot down New York's provision on the private property open to the public part. So that was a good win for the Second Amendment. However, they did rule in favor of the state regarding the sensitive places. They did use this law from the 1300s. So in this case, in this English Northampton case that they reference, the Second Circuit references for their big decision, and this is the case that New Jersey Attorney General Platkin references to the court for the New Jersey case. That's why I'm summarizing here. But basically, they bring up fairs and markets and say if you read the law from the 1300s, it says that you couldn't carry at a fair or a market. But the Supreme Court in Bruen addressed this and said It has to do with terrorizing people with guns. It does not have to do with peaceably carrying a gun for protection. So in a sense, they misinterpreted the law or whatever was on the books in the 1300s and used it to make their decision to say, yeah, all these sensitive places are good in the New York law. They're okay. There are no historical analogs to all these places that they mentioned. You can read them. There's a whole list, just like New Jersey did, folks. So in his letter to the court, New Jersey Attorney General Platkin says, hey, judges, look at this case where they upheld all the sensitive places that New York wants to employ or did employ in this new law. They upheld them all. So, hey, judge, maybe you should do that too for the New Jersey case because they did it, even though it was based on a bad decision. Oh, and by the way, judges, on the part that they ruled in favor of the Second Amendment, you know, with that private property open to the public thing, don't look at that because they erred on that part, or that part really doesn't apply to our case. He did the same thing when he filed a letter on October 4th for a Maryland case, Kipke versus Moore, in which the court denied a preliminary injunction in part and granted it in part, but it also had to do with Maryland sensitive place restrictions at museums, healthcare facilities, state parks, mass transit, schools, government buildings, the list goes on. So I like how he picks and chooses from these cases that are bad decisions. If you scrutinize them according to Bruin decision, the U.S. Supreme Court decision, the highest court in the land, as a reminder, if you compare them or scrutinize them or give them the Bruin test, they are bad decisions. The Maryland case, the New York case. So New Jersey Attorney General Platkin is saying, hey, Court of Appeals, please look at these two cases. They're very important to our case. Of course, all the ones that fit our agenda, where they agree with us and that the sensitive places should stand, and all the spots where they agree with the, pro and rule in favor of the Second Amendment, well, they either don't apply to our case or they erred. The court erred. So I like how he picks and chooses. If you read the letter, the responses from the attorneys representing the plaintiffs, and again, I'll put links to these, they went through each in detail, and they're not even long letters. You can read them. They're good reads, and that they basically shoot down all the reasons why the court should not consider these filings by New Jersey Attorney General Platkin because they either don't apply, they don't hold up to Bruin, and they're, he's basically using his same reasoning that got shot down by Judge Bum for the New Jersey law. So there are multiple cases, like I said, going on all over the country. The California case was a big win, but of course the state of California requested an emergency stay pending an appeal, which was granted. There are all these wins, and then they're appealed, and then some courts are issuing stays saying, well, you know what, for now it's going to stay in place until it's appealed. So ultimately this stuff will probably wind up, a lot of it, at the Supreme Court level, which we know, according to Bruin, U.S. Supreme Court decision, a lot of this stuff will be shot down. So I just wanted to give everybody a quick update and let everyone know that we're still waiting in New Jersey, but hopefully we're going to hear something soon regarding New Jersey. Folks, feel free to put your comments on what you think is going to happen or where you think this is headed. And if you like the video, please hit that like button and share it. Also, if you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing to our channel. As always, folks, thanks for watching. Take care and stay safe.